Dr. Gajigo, itebe sirinjang, and you're wearing now this hat of soon to be a party leader of a political party, right? Protective Progressive Alliance, right?
Patriotic.
Yeah, Patriotic Progressive Alliance, PPA. Nice name. You know, all these fancy names, you know, come
I like the word progressive.
Yeah, exactly. Patriotic, the patriotic part. Patriotic Progressive Alliance, right? And they say progress through patriotism and unity. Right? Now, can you tell us, you as a potential party leader, gom bi moy ne li nekk di am warut ni ñi nekk ci boppi nguur bi ni ñoo doxalee jaaduwut gom bi moy ne xaalis réew mi nim néew nekkuñ di ko dugal fu mu war a dugal ñu ngi koy luubal léegi yow ànduloo ak loolu noonu pare nga pour ñëw sampa sa ndinda ne dama bugg a sampa parti ma nit ma jongante pour ne ma jël li nga xam ne mooy dogalin bi right nekk the commander in chief the in my mind Jobati word the chief civil servant yow ci lu gàtta ñaar oo ñetta yow bu dee ne yow yaa fa newoon tey ka fa nekku di def lu war nga nekk political party taxaw election nga win ko mooy mbébét bi lan nga foog ne nga mun a def different pour wecci li ñooy wax ne ci ñaar naka si three things yoo xam ne paramount yow am nga xam-xam bi te di nga ko wecciw ba nga xam ne askan bi dinañ ci gis seen boppa ba tax banta baa duñ toog fii Dr. Gajigo président UNASAN bañ ko doon wax mu fa toogoon mu ne lii ali waaye moom it niñ koy joxe ñee ci Adama Barrow nga ñëw fall that in that shoes.
No, it's a great question. You know, the first thing for me is I told people a few years back, if you were to ask me if I had any political aspirations ambitions, I would say absolutely not.
Not, yeah.
Yes. But if you are in the Gambia, you have been here through these 2 terms of Adama Barrow. The promise, the goodwill, the promise that we had coming 2016. Because I left my international job in 2015. I resigned to come back in 2015 to start my firm. So I was here. During those campaigns, we started to get hope. And then we see what was happening.
So you came back to country in 2016?
Yes.
Okay, and you resigned?
Yes.
Because you wanted to come back?
Exactly.
And do something here?
Exactly.
But at a time, there was no political ambition?
Absolutely not. I came here, the first thing I did was buy land, started farms in different parts of the country.
Right.
In Combo here, in Badibu, and in URR. So, but if you are in the country and you see things are going in a certain way, and then you ask yourself, as somebody who wants a better thing for your country, now, you have to realize there are some people who, there is no shortage of Gambians who can do a far better job than Adama Barrow. There is no shortage.
Gambians are talented.
Yes. There is, now the thing is, not all of us are in a particular position at a given point in time to be able to take that step.
Right.
Yeah, so if you are an individual, and even though that was not initially part of your career ambitions, you know, because when I left the ADB to come here, I wanted to go into farming, agriculture, you know. So when you come here, you see what is happening.
Now it speaks to why you're so passionate about, you know, the flaws that are happening in the agricultural sector.
Yeah, no, so you see all of that, and you believe that, yes, you talk to people also who you believe can be in a good position to help the country. But the first thing people will tell you, don't enter politics, is very dirty.
Yes.
Yeah. Many of them will tell you, Gajigo, looking at the opportunities that you have, you can return to ADB. And I briefly return, in fact, you can, you can do consultancies, international consultancies, which I did. I didn't do any local consultancies. Why go through? But then you ask yourself, why is our politics the way it is? Because, for the most part, not every politician in it, but for the most part, particularly this Adama Barrow regime, you have people who are in there, not for the national interest. They are not motivated by patriotism. They are there for the self-interest. In fact, when I resigned, I briefly went to work for FAO in Rome, and I came back. I actually contacted, some people that I know that, if you need any help in any ministry, I'm available. on one condition: I don't want the salary.
Yeah, you offer your services.
Yes, I'll offer it in any position. I'm not looking for any anywhere I can assist. Even as recently as a few years ago, some of these current ministers, they receive documents from the World Bank that they can't read. So, Dr. Gajigo, can you help us understand this? Because I know I'm doing it for the country. Because you have a minister there who doesn't understand a simplified document that World Bank is already sending to them, and they're the minister. That's a very sad situation.
That's a dangerous
situation you have at Parliament. People that cannot read 2-page letters.
So you have this thing. You sit down and you reflect. You sit down, you reflect, and then say, okay, I have the option of avoiding the muds, the attacks in politics. I can live very comfortably. I can go and live in the US even if I want. But the Gambia that I envision is very different from what we are walking into. So I decided, as a patriotic Gambian, what we need in this country is more people who are going in, who are motivated by the common good. Maybe it's not going to be me, but if it's going to be somebody tomorrow who's going to take the country far forward, let that happen. Because right now, the way things are going, if they continue like this, we'll be here in our 70s and 80s.
Right.
And the issues we'll be grappling with will be far worse than today, as bad as they are right now. So, for me, this has been my motivation to enter politics. I am not there for salary. My last salary at ADB is more than Anambro's salary, so why would I go? I am not there for positions. If I wanted, there were requests for me to meet. I turned them all down the time I was here. I would meet mid-level bureaucrats and others, but I have no reason to go and meet the political president, even though when some of his close advisors tell him, "Oh, the president reads your articles he wants." I said, "Good, he has advisors around him. He can continue to read my article." Yeah, but I gave him hope. I gave him benefit of the doubt at the beginning, but I saw things deteriorating over time. So for me, this party here, we believe when a new party comes in, defeating Adam Barrow is just part of the solution. The other solution is having a new government that will bring a real change. Because right now the problems we have, they are systemic, but at the top of the list is leadership problem. So you need to have a leader who will select officers, from ministers downward, based on competency. You need to make sure that the officers that are in any position, any key decision-making authority, these are people motivated by their patriotism. You should be able to do a simple background check to know if Ousman Gajigo says he worked at the ADB, it should be easy to verify. If he says he worked at the UN, it should be easy to verify. You have people who met this president who claim they had a bachelor's, master's, and PhD. Turns out even a bachelor's they don't have.
They don't have.
I exposed them in one of a few years back in 2019. The thing is that we need to have a systemic change. So we need to have somebody, a leader, who will come understand the problem. It's not tainted by what has happened in the past. I've never worked in this government. It's not going to be bought by special interests. Because these special interests, I mention them by name. I don't beat around the bush. Even the one I talked about in the Limamulu project, when I'm done, I write directly because I've mentioned that individual by name in multiple articles. I pray he takes me to court so that we can have all of the investigations.
He cannot. That one is evident. He cannot.
So, the thing here is, for me, this is what brought me in, which is why our name is very important. The patriotism. Because when we talk about the system change, those are one of the things we need to make sure is inculcated among existing leaders, but to make sure that the future adults have patriotism at their heart, they are driven by that, we need to make sure we have civic education as early in the country as possible.
Keep them young.
Yes. And you make sure that everyone in government, you are appointed based purely on competence, not your connection, not your relationship with the president or any other influential person. The Gambia today, the problem is not because we are lack of resources. No. The budget we have, if you spend it well, a lot of these things the president is saying that he is, falsely claiming as accomplishment, which are actually failures. We could have done it easily. The 200 million we paid car powership. We could have gotten that from a cut from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs over a 5-year period. We give $20 million to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You will hear some government officials or ministries of education crying about the grants they're supposed to get. They didn't get it. But how many diplomats in useless embassies have you heard about crying about their delay in their salaries or their allowances? You don't hear. Because for
operational monies and all that doesn't come on time.
It comes on time, they don't complete, and there are doing a lot of businesses on the side and engaging in all sort of behavior that is bringing shame and embarrassment to the country. So the Gambia is possible for us to have development. We shouldn't look at somebody who knows, who talks fluidly. We need to look at track record. We need to make sure they understand the Gambian problems. And we need to make sure any government that's coming in, if you're not prioritizing the agricultural sector, you have no idea how to manage the Gambian economy that we have. Because if you don't have food security, if you have no meal in your stomach, you are not going to go and spend 300 on cash power. You will not go and spend several $100 joining a bus on a well-paved road if you are very hungry. Food is fundamental. And Gambia here, we have all of the resources to make sure that food security is achieved. I've written about how it is. I worked on many rice projects when I was at ADB, in many other international organizations, including in Senegal, in Mali, in Mexico. I've seen how countries go from very, very poor state in a short time period to a very admirable state. Gambia and Senegal, we had the same rice productivity in 1994. Now they are 4 times higher than the Gambia.
Wow.
There is you cannot talk about the assistance that they had over that time period that, that we didn't have. We've had it. It's just been squandered, just like the Limbambulu project. Enough time has passed to know that Adama Barrow is an unmitigated failure and disaster. Enough time has passed.
It's a new word, unmitigated.
It's not mitigated. So
the question now is, let's look at the field and make a decision for the future. Removing Adama Barrow, it's part of the solution. Who we replace him with? As he has said, there is only a finite amount of goodwill people can have. If I'm giving you goodwill this time, you squander it. Another year, you squander it. At some point, you come back to me, even if you are crying blood.
I will not give
people will not. And sadly, we are approaching that territory because development assistance to the Gambia has been on a downward trajectory. And that happens because the international community is losing faith in this government. I've done missions at Rwanda for the World Bank. There, the donor representatives and NGOs, they are scrambling to come in. Some of them are begging to have meetings with the ministers because they want to ride on success. They like a success story. Even if you tell them we don't need it, they'll beg to give you assistance because they want to see success and they want to associate themselves with success. So ask yourself, if you have a country where development assistance is falling over time, you have a big problem. Yeah. So for me, I tell people, I look at the political landscape. I didn't like what I see. I know there is possibility for change.
To be specific, when you say you look at it, you don't like what you see.
Yes.
Specifically, one thing that it's part of the motivation to feel like I cannot just sit on the side in my comfort zone, but I have to throw my hat into the field because I believe I have the capacity, the competence, the know-how to bring about the change. One thing you think it's a disaster that needs to change that you believe you can bring on.
Look at the current coalition in the president's party. The people who are there, who a few years ago were so-called in the opposition. But over time, they slowly made the beeline to go. Some of them, they say for survival. Some of them, crafted some very fine-looking statement. Some of them didn't even bother, But we've seen.
Near for no politician in Nengal dia, ite fana sign. Say consider no politician.
But
for ite fana, it okay part of that basket mi yalon ko politician go in all diata.
Very good question. And e kanyi nyini karo minti akumayata. Politician nata a lot of mul nyato. Nyanta ka nyini ka question difficult ringolel. Akana ke nyini consult mi yalon ko abi foyare. Mi yalon ko ibesa answer no easily. Of course, ebe mi nyini kala question dola ni ndo amanya na kale clean because ba nyini kala min na nyanta base la track record leka. Ndani me moy diamo la. Million long kabri mu dinne wote. Yalon diamo mang sono yante bulu. Sanda fa unte ka diamo ke bake te barim te mo million long kabri mu dinne wote. Ngana dindi yake in Kantora, in Sabak Sanjal, na fa dafa na muti jalti nga sati jamal ma, ngana high school ki Nusrat, bar mo nyini ka million te long na track record. Fu Ousman Gajigo multi mialon ko diamo no. Yeah. But it mean fola. I mean, it's mean fola na karola. Na sobeya. Fanang miyalon ka mankin tati mbukama. Ninko moye ko mbenyin kela nka kele. Ndaga nga project ko miyalon ko sate wol makoy. Last year nga sate tansale makoy musul ke makoy nyi garin fengola. Nyinambe nga tanko non dole fenke. Mfele nga fengol bari wo sate wol nyininka jama fam fonte ke nka lole nge promise mbina mbe ko kelale nga na bay. Itel ka wulle lunkile lummen nan banati la. Nka detail la. So kela question o answer ndale num fola mole don ali la mo ndeka diamu nyame nanen diaro wote banna may fati nyole la mo la diamu la Ismaila Cissé isi diamu jande ndale num fola ngalo ne because jandi benda la folo katan na kiskis lo kele na karo nyante min kela be fofin kela sobe ay taraji to nyaay taraji bare ko min wonen diamu ala ko hani fente bulu hani to nyaate bulu lo mo nyaato ya daale be diamu la o politicien o mil ka oke bi jele million telon mil fanan kabringa start kana public life mos min fo non tele karola mo bi jela mo ke ifa fanje no mo le kafo barna ya trente mo len telon no nendiala wo be lon nale num bi maro mo ta fala ko docteur Gajigo mo nendiare ngolti because be fo mum fola nka make so ko substance taraji ya to lay taraji ni hanim ba fola moye ko amala do ko lon comme ngam fo sidikete nka evidence le nati
monate ne yo fo
munan nango fo nte lola bro nga fo ko I'll just give an example. Minister of Higher Education, what's his name, Gomez. I'll just say Professor Gomez. Yeah, like he's a bad minister. Nandi ita mo lambo fola nimbo fola abe dalil sotola niaje mallo nena mallo ngofo man dalil soto ka okay. So president miya lon ko be garu wale kala ko mi mu dinni ngolte aussi fa nyantalo na president miya lon ka be sila ba kala adam baro ka ba bina mo ma ko ma kiskis mbe ko ni no pour jamme boji barbi ku jama bije nta kanita ni mol na tiya seno ni mani seno ko be wosta adam baro ko dina jamme you know bari science momo lota banko abi banko nyininna akombe banko nyininna amari man ki dindinti amari mu kebat nyanta sayen ka ko ma kiskis ngala track record lo nga nyinin ka e minke you know
interesting
so ni okay sabe min man samin sotola be president min sotola mafo man be president min sotola ndere duwa kam min nga soto bimbe banko sambala nyaato naka dan telde ndengalo I have a burden I have a burden to go and bring development na man ken teti be duwa la ki moti min si banko samba nyaato because nim banko man ta nyaato mbelbe batala bari ngalo ne adam baro wonte
science ninge moy asake iteti asake modola ya understand
alale ka man sayadi
alale ka bari mol fanan la katakuo fanan ase you know was to contribute no back bari in lafta kam monege ite lafta ayeke iteti bite parce que ite la jikiro ko ite sakeno bari ning alala ko ayake ko amanke ayake modola bari wo fanan aye banko je you know banko je aye banko dingol je andu alafita ka doko kala andu aba katakane fo ite you know ibe Gambia jang ite isake mo mi yanoko ite ni wo ye denno ali doko ke pour ite fana ila knowledge ila sa expert ya kafo ate min soto because ye expert ko fole jang e ko leader dorong attaqué nola a ñanta mol soto la a fe mi yalon ko ye expertise soto ye experience soto ye competence soto andum il lafita do ko la e manno so fo ite se ko moti mi yalon ko eta fo lan te ma soto wala tenan messi la doron nka kaja fero ke ka criticize ke fo election do nga try ko tenke it is
no okay nang insa answer no directly ndene kala o modi because mede dundi nyin kono wala banko nyatota ko be ngafo jaay mo jamaale bi Gambia bi mil si banko marono mil tambita adam baroti amanke te dam mado ne sa keno bari ngalo ne ku jama bi je mo jamaal bi mil yalon ko isa keno jama bi je iboka haji kadum politiko ko ko na politiko nota isi lo nte nka fen nka comme jamaal leje mi ba fen kala do ne man ne wol mam mit fam ibe ku dol fola ñete ninte man dum politiko kono wol nam anki kan jeyti fem fola ñi ha bari niyaje beddu dañin kono banko la ko so ninte sita bi comme ne da fo ñu mas ku nday ñami nti do ko ke masula jola nim do lota nte believe ta ko ñing aya londo sotole aya karawo sotole aya fero sotole am moti mi yalan ko atilinta ay do ko asa kinole aman jare fa ngatra masakunda because ngam fo mole ilo ka masakunda support aman jare tra government isi tardo le private sector hana te mi be media jabe min ke ka nyimbe banko samba ka nyaatu nyek accountability nati isi banko support no in various ways nsita wuro na famto banko do manta bantam bil banko nyaatu isi banko support no I also don't mind sita no nga joy masakunda min ko maatante do min be banko samba la nyaatu
ye contribute
de duwa ka wolla ndaw nga lo ne nyaaje mbedu na ko kono ndena believe le have no doubt nsida le reflecta kam ngalo ne mbedu kan je min nam matra ko di nyina mantra place ni wala mbedu kan nyun ko ka banko samba nyaatu nyin salary hani mante jola ndebe balu no wala ninde lafta bi kamuru ADB war organisation amon ko lembul
so okay president oti salary ta nte la fitala ya dedicate nte la dorom salary ta ila jole
so ni okay ntel wolem tella fenkoti della enti ni woketa banko ita nyaatu puru mbe nyin alhalu min kono ndingol ni ko sa entel ta fenketale sa mbe mira kan dingol ni mamarngol wol kana tara ku kono miya lonko nintel sama mimbe siring na dindingol na mamarngol nata ko grandpa ite mune contribute
de manturo min kono
ate mune wala dal man ko fala kabirin alsa fali no wato men nsi lolo la nga foy ko ngan taro kele ngan kato kele
ñin
nga ñin le ha so
be say